ago in Zhejiang lived a scholar named Ning Caichen. He was an open-hearted man, generous with his money and unstinting in his efforts. He was sincere and genuine, without a trace of insincerity. Most importantly, whenever someone sought his help, he treated their affairs as if they were his own, never hesitating or holding back. On one occasion, he traveled to Jinhua City on business. By the time he reached the northern outskirts, his legs ached and his body felt weary, unable to go on. He spotted a dilapidated temple by the roadside. Though the temple was somewhat run down, the surrounding scenery was beautiful, so he decided to stop and rest. Upon reaching the temple entrance, wow, the temple grounds were surprisingly large. But looking further into the courtyard revealed a different scene. Wild grasses grew thick and dense everywhere, clearly indicating this place hadn't seen visitors in years, exuding a sense of desolation and quiet seclusion. Without much thought, he strolled into the temple. Upon entering the courtyard, he spotted a monk's quarters with its door ajar. Pushing it open, he peered inside. The room was empty, not a soul in sight, yet it was swept clean. Simple furnishings stood there, a wooden bed with bedding, clearly indicating someone lived here. He explored every corner of the temple, examining everything in sight, yet found nothing but birds soaring overhead. He approached the pond in the courtyard, surrounded by lush green bamboo, where several wild lotus flowers bloomed quietly in the water. Though the temple appeared desolate and decayed, it exuded an air of refined elegance, perfumed by a faint floral scent. Ning Caichen was instantly captivated by the scene. Ning Caichen began to ponder, with the provincial examinations about to be held in the city, lodging prices must be sky-high. Staying overnight would cost a fortune. He observed that while the temple was desolate, its tranquility was a virtue. Suddenly, an idea struck him. Since the place stood empty anyway, why not wait for the monks to return and negotiate lodging here during the exams? Wouldn't that be far more economical than wasting money on city accommodations? Ning Caichen waited in the temple until the sun began to set, the sky turning crimson, when a middle-aged man hurriedly entered. Without delay, the man walked straight to the monk's quarters. Seeing him, Ning Caichen stepped forward, clasped his hands in a bow, and explained his wish to stay for a few days. The man laughed heartily upon hearing this and replied, "My friend, you must understand, this temple has no resident abbot. I'm merely staying here temporarily, just like you." He paused, then added warmly, "If you don't mind the seclusion and are willing to stay, that would be wonderful. I'd be honored to learn from you whenever possible." With that, he led Ning Caichen to another vacant monk's quarters nearby. Ning Caichen was overjoyed at the offer, his delight beyond words. Without waiting for formalities, he immediately set down his bundles, rolled up his sleeves, and got to work. First, he gathered a large bundle of dried grass from the courtyard and spread it over the hard wooden bed. Then, he found several old planks in the temple and quickly assembled them into a small desk for his books. After all this bustling activity, everything was neatly arranged. Clearly, he was determined to settle here permanently, outside. The setting sun streamed through the broken windows, casting a warm and cozy glow inside. By the time he finished, night had fallen completely. Looking up, he saw the moon shining exceptionally bright, its soft light spilling down like water. Listening to his surroundings, he heard the cheerful chirping of insects, one after another, creating a truly delightful melody. Taking advantage of the quiet, Ning Caichen invited the other middle-aged man, who was also staying temporarily, for a stroll to the pond. As they chatted, he learned the man's name was Yan Sheng, and his accent suggested he was from the Shaanxi region. But since they had only just met, a chance encounter, really, neither felt comfortable delving into deep conversation. They exchanged polite pleasantries like "please guide me" and "thank you for your trouble," then bowed their hands in farewell before returning to their respective lodgings. Back in his room, Ning Caichen laid on the straw bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. After tossing and turning for a long while in a daze, he suddenly caught faint murmurs of voices outside his room. The sounds were so soft he could barely make them out without straining. His curiosity piqued. He slowly rose, tiptoed to the window, and pressed his ear against the pane, eager to discern who was speaking outside. The scene shifted. Outside the low walls, moonlight filtered through the haze, casting a faint glow over the courtyard. In the corner, behind a grove of bamboo and a rockery, two figures stood, a woman of striking beauty dressed in a green kipao, and a hunchback old crone, her face twisted with ugliness, leaning heavily on a walking stick. First, the woman sighed softly, her tone tinged with reproach. "Why hasn't Xiaoqian arrived yet?" The old crone looked up at the sky and replied slowly, "I reckon she should be here any minute now." The woman pursed her lips, leaned close to the old crone's ear, and asked with a hint of provocation, "Hey, could it be that Xiaoqian has some grudge against you, old lady, and is deliberately dawdling?" The old woman's face immediately darkened, a fierce look appearing. She waved her hands dismissively. "No, that girl wouldn't dare. But I just don't know what's wrong with her lately. She never has a smile on her face, always looking so unhappy." Just then, the woman spat out, "That dead girl. All she does is put on airs. She's the most difficult person to deal with." No sooner had the words left her mouth than a wisp of green smoke drifted across the courtyard. A girl of 17 or 18 materialized before their eyes. She wore a pink satin kipao and embroidered shoes, her hair adorned with a jade hairpin and her ears with jade earrings. Holding a white silk handkerchief, she stood gracefully, her beauty so captivating it was impossible to look away.